Have you ever woken up at 2 a.m. with a sharp stabbing pain running through your calf like an electric shock? You can't react fast enough. Your muscle locks up like stone. Your eyes fly open in the dark. And all you can do is wait it out. If you've ever experienced that, I want you to know you are not alone. I'm 60 years old now, and after more than 30 years working with patients over the age of 50, I can tell you this. Nighttime leg cramps are not a normal part of aging. They're a signal, a whisper from your body telling you it's missing something essential, something we often overlook: magnesium. I once had a patient named Carol, 67 years old, a retired school teacher living alone in rural California. Carol told me she would sleep on her side every night with two pillows under her legs and compression socks on, just to stop the cramps that would sometimes make her cry in the dark. She used to think, I guess this is just part of getting old. But that wasn't the truth. So I asked her a simple question. When was the last time you ate spinach? She chuckled, a little embarrassed, and said, maybe a few years ago. Here's the thing. Spinach, that humble, affordable, easy to find green, is actually one of the most powerful natural sources of magnesium for the body after age 50. But the magic isn't just in eating it, it's in how you prepare it. If you boil spinach, you lose nearly 60% of the magnesium. It drains away into the cooking water, and your body gets next to nothing. So try this instead. Steam your spinach lightly for just 5 minutes. No more. That helps you retain up to 95% of the magnesium in those leafy greens. Add a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil, not just for flavor, but because healthy fats act like little transport vehicles, carrying magnesium through your intestinal walls and into your bloodstream. Finally, squeeze a bit of fresh lemon juice on top. The vitamin C helps transform magnesium into a form your body can absorb much more efficiently. It's like flipping the absorption switch on inside your body. So what kind of results are we talking about? A clinical study in Europe found that people aged 65 to 80 who ate 250 grams of steamed spinach prepared this way, 4 times a week for just 3 weeks, saw a 70% reduction in nighttime leg cramps. But that's not all. They also slept longer, adding an average of 80 minutes of quality sleep each night. And their blood tests showed lower levels of inflammation, which as a physician, I always pay close attention to when monitoring long-term health. Now I want you to picture this. It's a quiet evening. You sit down to a light meal, warm, tender spinach infused with olive oil, touched with lemon. You go to bed. No spasms, no jolting awake in pain, just a steady, deep sleep. And the next morning, you wake up without that familiar, heavy ache. Wouldn't that feel good? I'm not here to sell you an expensive product. I'm not asking you to depend on pills you barely understand. I'm simply sharing what I know, a natural, powerful truth that so many older adults have forgotten. Your body can recover. It just needs the right fuel, delivered in the right way. Carol tried it. 3 weeks later, she called me, her voice full of joy. Doctor, I can't remember the last time I slept that well. No more cramps. I feel like I'm 50 again. And I believe, if you're watching this video, you might be ready for that same kind of shift. A small change that brings lasting comfort. You don't have to live in pain every night. You don't have to accept that cramps are just part of aging. They're not. Your body, whether you're 50, 60, or 70, is still hungry for proper care. So tonight, get your steamer ready. Pick the freshest, deepest green spinach you can find. And when you take that first bite, remember this. You're not just eating to fill your belly. You're eating to heal. And I believe you'll feel that difference. If this resonated with you, please share it with someone you care about, especially if they've been silently suffering with the same pain. And don't forget to leave a comment below. I read every word you write because it's your stories that keep me coming back each week, not just as a doctor, but as someone who truly cares. See you in the next video. Let me ask you to picture this for a moment. A tiny little nut, humble, often forgotten in the corner of your pantry, might just be the answer to something you've been dealing with for years. Those long, painful leg cramps. Stiff legs every morning, that dull, tingling ache that makes you feel like your muscles are no longer yours. That nut is the almond, but not the kind you snack on straight from a shiny bag while watching TV. I'm talking about raw, unroasted, unseasoned almonds, still in their skin, soaked in clean water and used the right way, with intention. I once had a patient named Robert, 72 years old. He was a retired structural engineer, the kind of man who trusted numbers more than feelings. But after retirement, he found himself doing math of a different kind, counting how many nights a week he was jolted awake by cramps. He told me, "I used to manage entire construction sites, and now I can't even manage my own legs. It's hard to accept." So we started simple. Better meals, better sleep, and one small handful of almonds each morning. Did you know this? After age 60, our digestive system absorbs minerals less efficiently, and many older adults, maybe even you, take diuretics, which cause you to lose magnesium and potassium faster through your urine. The result? A vicious cycle. The older you get, the more minerals you lose. The more minerals you lose, the more cramps you get. The more cramps you get, the worse your sleep and energy become. But almonds, especially soaked almonds, can help break that cycle. When you soak almonds in filtered water for 12 hours, you're not just softening the nut, you're unlocking it. That brown skin, which looks harmless, actually contains enzyme inhibitors that block mineral absorption. Soaking dissolves those inhibitors and activates the almonds, releasing natural magnesium and potassium, two minerals that regulate muscle movement, prevent spasms, and restore your strength after a long night. How to use them? It's very simple. Each morning, after they've soaked overnight, rinse your almonds well. Eat about 30 grams, roughly a small handful. You can pair them with a kiwi or a few strawberries, both high in vitamin C, which helps your body absorb magnesium more effectively. What happens next? In the first 2 weeks, you'll likely notice your cramps become less frequent, less intense. By week 3, your mornings might feel lighter, looser, more energized. And if you keep it up for a full month, according to data from senior health centers across the U.S., 80% of adults over 65 who follow this routine report being completely free from nighttime leg cramps. But I have to tell you this, not all almonds are created equal. Look for organic whole almonds, still in their skin, never roasted, never salted. The sliced or powdered ones spoil faster, and their healthy fats oxidize, reducing their ability to carry magnesium into your system. And never eat almonds at the same time as milk or cheese. Why? Because calcium from dairy competes with magnesium in your gut and usually wins. That means most of the magnesium you just ate gets flushed out. Back to Robert. We didn't just tweak his meals, we helped him reframe how he looked at aging. 3 weeks later, he called me with the voice of a man who just hit the lottery. "Doctor, I'm not waking up at 3 a.m. anymore. For the first time in years, I climbed a full flight of stairs without worrying my leg might lock up halfway." And then he added, with a grin I could hear through the phone, "I keep almonds in my shirt pocket now, instead of muscle relaxers." You see, the power of eating right and using food wisely doesn't lie in how much it costs or how fancy the science sounds. It lies in your ability to slow down, listen to your body, and give it what it's been quietly asking for. So tomorrow morning, here's what I want you to try. Pour yourself a glass of water. Drop a handful of almonds in. Let them soak while you sleep. And the next morning, when you reach for those almonds, remember this. You're not just eating for fuel. You're feeding your body the way it was meant to be nourished. No pills, no pain. Just one small intentional choice, made by you, for you. Let your body thank you for every quiet choice you make today. Because health, especially after 50, doesn't come from luck. It comes from understanding and small, steady habits that you honor daily. Try it. And if you feel something shift, even a little, leave me a comment below. I read every word, because sometimes your story might be the very thing someone else needs to hear to start their own journey. I'm still here, and I'll be reading. Carrying magnesium through your intestinal walls and into your bloodstream. Finally, squeeze a bit of fresh lemon juice on top. The vitamin C helps transform magnesium into a form your body can absorb much more efficiently. It's like flipping the absorption switch on inside your body. So what kind of results are we talking about? A clinical study in Europe found that people aged 65 to 80 who ate 250 grams of steamed spinach prepared this way, 4 times a week for just 3 weeks, saw a 70% reduction in nighttime leg cramps. But that's not all. They also slept longer, adding an average of 80 minutes of quality sleep each night. And their blood tests showed lower levels of inflammation, which as a physician, I always pay close attention to when monitoring long-term health. Now I want you to picture this. It's a quiet evening. You sit down to a light meal, warm, tender spinach infused with olive oil, touched with lemon. You go to bed. No spasms, no jolting awakened pain, just a steady, deep sleep. You're not going to believe this. One of the most effective remedies I've ever recommended for leg cramps is dark chocolate. Yes, you heard that right. Not a prescription, not some expensive treatment plan, just a bar of chocolate. That little treat we've been told to feel guilty about turns out to be a surprising ally for your body after age 50. Now imagine this with me. It's a quiet afternoon. You're in your kitchen, cutting a few squares of rich, dark chocolate. You drop them into a small bowl, add a teaspoon of coconut oil, and a pinch of pink Himalayan salt. You melt it slowly over low heat, as if you're making something important, something sacred. Because honestly, you are. Did you know this? Dark chocolate, the kind with at least 85% pure cacao, contains nearly twice as much magnesium as almonds, up to 500 milligrams of magnesium per 100 grams. And what makes it even more powerful is an alkaloid called theobromine, found naturally in cacao. It not only helps your body absorb magnesium better, but also improves blood flow to your muscles, supporting deeper rest and faster recovery. So what does this mean for you? When you eat dark chocolate the right way, you're not just reducing cramps, you're also helping your muscles recover, sleeping more deeply, and waking up with less stiffness in the morning. One of my patients, Linda, 68, used to feel guilty every time she looked at chocolate. She told me, I have borderline diabetes, so I've avoided sweets for years. But I taught her how to choose the right kind of chocolate. No refined sugar, made from single origin cacao, minimally processed. And I said to her, don't think of this as dessert. Think of it as part of your recovery plan. So how do you use it correctly? Don't just unwrap a bar and eat it straight. You need to activate it. Here's what I recommend. Choose dark chocolate with at least 85% cacao, ideally from a single origin like Peru or Ecuador. Look for bean-to-bar brands, where the chocolate is made by the same hands that harvested it. Melt about 2 squares, sure 20 grams, gently in a small pot over low heat, no more than 113 degrees Fahrenheit or 45 degrees Celsius. This preserves the magnesium and theobromine. Add 1 teaspoon of virgin coconut oil and a pinch of Himalayan pink salt. This trio forms the perfect combination to maximize magnesium absorption. When's the best time to enjoy it? Around 4 p.m., when your body is winding down from the day. The natural melatonin-boosting effects of cacao kick in gently, helping you fall asleep easier and stay asleep longer without medication. A study from the University of Lausanne found that people between 60 to 75 who consumed 20 grams of activated dark chocolate 3 times a week saw a 68% reduction in the severity of cramps and 83% reported better sleep and less morning muscle fatigue within just 2 weeks. But let me give you a heads up. Not all chocolate is a hero. Many so-called dark chocolates only have 50 to 60% of cacao, with the rest made up of sugar and saturated fats. And sugar-free versions? They often contain artificial sweeteners that disrupt your gut and interfere with magnesium absorption. Instead, choose chocolate with at least 85% cacao. If you need sweetness, look for those made with coconut sugar or raw honey in small amounts. Back to Linda. 10 days later, she called me, and I swear she sounded 30 again. I still can't believe this. I've been having a little chocolate every afternoon, and my legs haven't cramped once. I even slept a full 6 hours last night. Then she laughed and asked, Doctor, do you think I can have a little extra on the weekends? And I told her, As long as you're eating it the right way, every square you melt is another cramp that melts away with it. You see, getting older shouldn't mean giving up the things you love. In fact, it's the perfect time to reclaim them, wisely, intentionally. It's not about restriction, it's about making choices that serve you. Doctor leans forward, speaking gently and sincerely. So tonight, if you're thinking about what might help you sleep better, what might ease your muscles and calm your nervous system, think about a small bowl of warm, melted dark chocolate. Let it soothe you, not just because it's delicious, but because it's your body's way of healing itself through care, understanding, and habit. If you try this, please leave me a comment below. And if it works for you, don't keep it to yourself. Share this with someone else who might be suffering quietly. Because getting older doesn't have to mean living with pain. Age is just a number. Quality of life? That's a choice. The pain was cut in half almost immediately. I could breathe again. I stood up and stretched, without fear of it coming back. I remember a man named James, 75 years old, a former Navy sailor, now living alone. He called me one morning, voice trembling, but filled with emotion. "Doc, I kept the anti-cramp shot by my bed like you told me. Last night, when the cramp hit hard and I almost screamed, I grabbed the bottle and took a sip. 2 minutes later, I swung my feet out of bed, and nothing. The cramp was gone. I fell back asleep like a baby." You see, you might not be able to stop every cramp before it comes, but you can be ready for it. A simple thermos, a few ingredients from your kitchen, and the decision to be prepared becomes a gentle shield between you and pain. I'm not hoping you'll need this every night. What I do hope is that you'll use your spinach, almonds, and dark chocolate to prevent the cramps altogether. But if the pain still shows up, in the silence of the night, let this anti-cramp shot be your quiet companion. It doesn't speak, but it's always there, ready to help you through it. So if leg cramps visit you often, here's what I want you to do today. Prepare a bottle of this natural remedy. Place it by your bedside and sleep peacefully, knowing you're ready. Let tonight be the first night you reclaim your peaceful sleep. There are some nights when you just don't have time to wait for spinach to kick in. No time to soak almonds. No time to melt chocolate. Because the cramp hits like a sneak attack. Sharp, unforgiving. And you, lying in the dark, can do nothing but grit your teeth and wait it out. I've seen too many people go through that exact moment. That's why today I want to share with you something simple, but remarkably effective. We call it the anti-cramp shot, a natural, fast-acting drink I always recommend patients keep by the bed. It's incredibly easy to make. Here's all you need. 1 cup of warm water, not boiling, just comfortably warm, like a gentle hug. 1 teaspoon of raw rosemary honey, rich in potassium, helps replenish electrolytes fast. A pinch of pink Himalayan salt. It might sound fancy, but it's loaded with over 80 trace minerals your muscles crave during a cramp. Juice from a quarter of a fresh lemon. The vitamin C helps magnesium absorb faster, even right inside your mouth. When a cramp strikes, here's what to do. 1. Gently shake the mixture if you've prepared it ahead of time. I recommend keeping it in a small thermos by your bed. 2. Take a small sip and hold it in your mouth for 10 seconds before swallowing. This allows the minerals to absorb rapidly through the soft tissue in your mouth, straight into your bloodstream. The result? In just a few short minutes, many of my patients have told me, "I know this might come as a surprise, but milk, the classic health drink, isn't always magnesium's best friend." Let me paint a picture for you. You're preparing a healthy lunch, steamed spinach, soaked almonds, maybe a few squares of dark chocolate. You're feeling good about it. You've done everything right. Then out of habit, you pour yourself a nice glass of milk to boost your calcium. It sounds smart, doesn't it? But here's the truth. You may have just undone all your effort. Why? Because calcium and magnesium compete for absorption in your small intestine. They both try to get through the same door, and if there's too much calcium around, magnesium gets pushed out. So what does this mean for you? You could be eating all the right things, leafy greens, nuts, dark chocolate. But if you wash it all down with a glass of milk, Most of that magnesium may never make it into your bloodstream. I remember a patient of mine, Helen, 64 years old. She was incredibly disciplined. Every morning she had her almonds, kiwi, steamed veggies. But after 3 weeks, she came back and said, "Doctor, I don't feel much different." So we looked at her food journal, and there it was, plain and simple. Every lunch, a big glass of whole milk. We made just one change. She moved her milk to an afternoon snack, at least 2 hours after her main meal. 1 week later, she called me laughing like she had uncovered a secret. "My legs feel so much lighter. And last night, I slept straight through. No cramps, no waking up." You see, sometimes the change you need isn't some big dramatic overhaul. Sometimes it's not what you eat, but what you eat it with. So here's my advice. Enjoy your magnesium-rich foods: spinach, almonds, dark chocolate, during lunch or early dinner. If you love milk, no problem. Just wait 1 to 2 hours before or after meals to have it. And yes, you can still enjoy a warm glass of milk before bed. Just let magnesium do its job first. I'm not saying this to make you fear milk. I'm saying it so you can understand something powerful. Timing matters. And when you choose the right time, your body responds with ease, with gratitude. Sometimes that's all it takes. If you found today's story helpful, please click subscribe so I can keep showing up for you each week with real, down-to-earth health tips made for people in the most beautiful season of life, the season of self-awareness. And if you have a question or just want to share your experience, drop a comment below. I read every single one because your words are what keep me here, not just as a doctor, but as a friend on this journey with you. Until next time, sleep peacefully tonight, and may your body thank you for every small, thoughtful choice you make. Amen.